Hey, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Everything good?
People as yourself that feel very strongly about the 10-second proposal.
No, I don't feel strong about that rule. I feel very strongly about allowing players to be substituted. There's a misnomer out there. That's how that will work. You know. What's going on?
George Richards.
Hey, George. Nice to see you, man.
Producing the SEC film room this year. So I want to welcome you on in. Come on in. Have you meet Kaylee.
Hey, Coach. How are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Everything good?
How are y'all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Coach, just want to give you a quick introduction to the SEC Film Room. I'll actually be producing the show the entire year for the SEC Network. It's going to air Wednesdays at 7. Every week, we'll go to a different school the Sunday after a game, and we'll basically tape a half-hour show, which is going to be all about your school.
Okay.
And it's your approach to the film room, the way that your philosophy towards it, how you coach up your players to approach the film room, and your coaching staff as well.
Me too.
You're
Where am I at? Am I there? On the hot seat?
You are in the hot seat.
Love it. Bret Bielema, head coach, University of Arkansas.
Coach, have you ever danced in a locker room before?
I have danced in a locker room. Ironically, when I was a player at the University of Iowa.
When I say week one, what thoughts come to mind?
When you say week one, it's just that it's finally here. I think as college football coaches, you've chosen a profession that drives your life in a way that is very unusual at times, very rewarding. It can be very heartbreaking at times as well. And to have week one upon us, I know that everybody's trying to get that first win is a very special feeling.
We are going to be doing a little bit of piece. We've got the SEC Network opening up here, so we've got some films coming out. One of them is Coach Spurrier's film. As we just are for promo bits, we've got some of the coaches coming in. There's kind of a little bit of opinions on them for whatnot. So
in 5, 4.
Bret Bielema, Kevin Sumlin, Butch Jones joining me now on the coaches roundtable. That is fresh water in there if you get a little thirstier, if the conversation gets a little salty, as it has a tendency to do sometimes. What is it like being together socially in times like this, or times in Destin, or when you're in there talking about rules and talking about how you govern the SEC? What's it like when you're in settings like this?
Well, us three are a little bit unique. What's kind of fun for me, this is the first job that I've been where I'm around peers that I grew up in the profession with. I've been both these guys for a long time. When I got the job in Wisconsin, I was 34, and I'm hanging out with Joe Paterno and Lloyd Carr and Jim Tressel, and I was kind of like shaking in my boots.
Bret Bielema, Arkansas head coach, SVP and Rosillo on ESPN Radio. Coach, what are the expectations for your team, not from you, but from the athletic department, from boosters, from the fan base in Arkansas?
Well, you know, we all kind of want the same thing. We want to win games. I've said this now the last month or two for sure. One thing I can be assured of is if you're their athletic director, if you're the board, the president, whatever it is, the only thing that you haven't seen us do tremendously well in is the wins. Our GPA, our community service with our team, our no off the field issues, all that stuff has been lights out. We just got to start winning some games.
It's the Freddie Coleman Show on ESPN Radio and ESPNRadio.com. When you move from a big-time conference like the Big Ten to another big-time conference in the SEC, there's going to be an adjustment period. Unfortunately for Bret Bielema, the head coach of Arkansas, he found out about that last year. He's looking for better things in year 2, and he joins me in studio. You said you learned from going 3-9 last year that you had to change the math. You had to change the way you do things. What did you change, Coach?
Well, I think first and foremost, we really sat back as a staff and tried to make sure that we weren't putting our players at a disadvantage before the play ever happened. So our communication, our verbiage, our way of trying to get our players to play, the way that we want them to execute, we just took a microscope to that and kind of went full flow.
And we're back on the ESPNU College Football Podcast with Arkansas head coach Bret Bielema. 71-33 in his career. First season at Arkansas last year, 3-9, which I'm sure you're still not used to hearing.
No.
Yeah. Sorry I had to bring it up.
Well, that's all right. I like the first overall record. I like to do that one better first.
Yeah.
We can stick to that one.
Okay, all right. You guys did lose your last 9, but your last 4 games, certainly by margin and by memory, were a lot more competitive, which tells me that something was happening.
I think, Ivan, without a doubt, we got better as the year went on. I think for the kids to play the style of play that we believe in, that I believe in as a head coach, especially offensively, it takes some doing. It can't be created overnight. It takes a lot of time in the weight room. It takes a little bit of time on the practice field, and more importantly, it takes recruiting time to get a certain type of player in our program. But You know, I haven't really got the Bob Bowlesby question. I got it one time, you know, so I haven't had that. A lot of it have been about, you know, the SEC and the first-year coach, you know, the transition from year 1 to year 2. The things that are exciting laying ahead of us. We've got the what's been voted the toughest football schedule in the country coming in front of us.
Bret Bielema and Dan Mullen here inside of College Football Live. And Bret, Bob Bowlesby from the Big 12 and Media Days had some comments about college football in general. One of the things that we're talking about today, he said, look, if you like college football now, you're not going to like it in the future because it's really going to change. If there's one thing about the game that you could change, what would it be?
Chris, I think I grew up under a coach by the name of Hayden Fry that always used to say, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." And I think our game is really good right now. I think the addition of the college football playoffs is awesome.
Coach Bret Bielema, year number 2 at Arkansas. Give me the state of the Hogs.
Well, we're getting better every day. I know this. I came here to win an SEC championship. That hasn't wavered and it'll never waver. I'm excited. I know in my 5th year at Wisconsin, we won our first championship with 3 in a row. I'm following the same model with a little adaptation for the SEC. I think that we're year 2 into our program. I think we're going to be better. We've added almost 30 players. We've subtracted about 15 guys from the program that just didn't do things the way we asked them to do them, and I think the result is going to be really good.
Coach Bielema going to open up on the SEC Network down there against the defending champs at Auburn for Arkansas to start the year.